So that had officially solved my well pump issue, but now I had a new issue. I think I turned on my water softener a little too prematurely. It accumulated too much sediment down in the bottom, and no amount of flushing did anything. Seeing as it hasn't been serviced for 14 years, I think it was due for a media swap anyway. So I've got about 90% of the parts that I needed ordered and delivered, so today I'm going to do some prep work to finally get the water softener back installed. So this is the current setup. Used to have the water softener put in the line here. I just kind of temporarily bypassed it to get us all hooked up. Made a little bit of progress so far. Got the piece of drywall out from the top and the bottom. Put in a couple pieces of wood to help hold the plywood that I'm going to put here in place. Can't put it on right away because I put some lacquer on it to try to make it a little bit more waterproof, so that's still drying out. Got a nail stop plate to just make sure that when I put that on or put anything behind it that I'm not going to mess up that wire there. Got to scrub a little bit. It looks like it got some mold down here, not very surprising being a water closet. And I'm getting the rest of the water out of the brine tank, which obviously you can tell how bad it was. Now that we have everything cleaned up, it's actually time to reinstall this guy. Now, I did clean everything very thoroughly. So we're going to get that all the way in the bottom there. I got this little foil cap. Hopefully, it'll be good enough to hold everything in place. And then I bought the specific funnel that you need for that. So I'll be able to pour, I got 15 pounds of gravel that I'm going to pour down first. And then the resin material. Kind of hard to get this centered and record at the same time, so I'll do most of this off camera. Now that we have all 15 pounds in there and it's all level on the inside, it's time to do the actual resin. Now for mine, it's a 3,200 grain or 32,000 grain capacity, which means 1 cubic foot of this resin, which is 4 of these bags. Now this one's really weird to try to record. I don't know if you can see it on the camera real well. Actually, if I turn on the light, yeah, now that I turned on the light, you can see how reflective this stuff is. Like, I got it all over the ground over here now, too. So now I just have to put the thing back on. I've got the board in, I've got all the pieces, and I built the replacement clip that I lost somewhere. So, it's not perfect, but it should function the same way. So we're going to get started, but I have to run out and get CPVC glue because I forgot mine dried out. So, this is the first filter that goes in. It's going to be right next to this guy here. I got a bunch of tees. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on, so I'm going to get started and show you where I end up. I think I've got all my pre-prep done. So, I got a 90 degree there, shut-off valve, a sweep to get 90 degree, up to a T. That gets us into the filters, through the filters, up through the filters. Between those two T's, we have a shut-off valve. That way, it, the pressure doesn't go up. It just keeps going through the filters. Then the sweep to where we have the CPVC. So, a couple things I noticed. I probably should get like a 2x4 or two because there's bigger gaps than I was thinking about. So, and I've got plenty of stuff to secure it to the wall. It's just I actually have to get something to... Well, I probably have it, to be honest. I don't need to get a 2x4. It's fine. So, I'll be back from the store. So, we are 99% done. All I'm waiting on now is that CPVC fitting to harden. It's been on for about an hour and a half. I'll give it maybe another 45 minutes. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I already got the pressure on, and the valve is off, so no leaks. A little bit of water down there was from when I was disconnecting all the old stuff back here. But yeah, so far so good. Now, it's always a good idea to, you know, flush your hot water tank, especially after doing stuff like this, because all the murky stuff that's set in the bottom really like to live in the hot water tank. So my first initial test, I do have a little bit of a leak, and it appears to be right where this seal meets up. So I'm going to pop this back off and see what I can do. So that ended up being a very simple fix. All I needed to do, well, you can't see it now. Basically, when I installed it, I forgot this one bolt back over here. And I didn't tighten it up evenly. And when I just took it off, put it back on, tightened everything else evenly, it was good. Then still had a little leak between this section here, kind of on the back side. So, and I put a little bit of gasket goop on the O-rings, but that didn't fix the problem. I ended up just having to tighten that down. It would only do it during the rinse cycle, but it's good. Now to finish off the project, I ended up getting a check valve and a T, and a little tiny bit of pipe to set this in place. And especially since yesterday, when I was running the hot water heater, that had already clogged. So now I can just rinse it off real quick. I think the best thing to do is shut off the main water supply. That way it runs out from the pressure built up from the house. So that way it pushes off from the filter. So it's good. I think we're done. Now, I was hoping to have like a big reveal at the end, looking like, hey, look how clear the water is now. But unfortunately, the sample that I took at the beginning of this whole situation this week, it actually was pretty clear. So that's something. I think the water, I want to say, looks cleaner. It definitely feels different when I take a shower. I don't know if it's just like that weird coincidence when you do anything new, that I'm kind of like gaslighting myself into thinking it's better. But I don't know. That's what I got for you. I guess I'll see you in the next video.